Welcome to Narrative Strokes. Today we are listening to I Just Moved into My New Apartment. Something wasn't right. This is a very special story because today you, my viewers, are going to choose an option to see how the story continues. Choose wisely. Let's begin. I didn't expect much when I signed the lease. It was cheap, the location was decent, and after months of crashing on friends' couches and dodging landlord calls, I needed something, anything that was mine. So when I found a second-floor unit listed in an aging building with paper-thin walls and linoleum floors, I jumped on it. The landlord, a tired man with yellowed eyes and a limp handshake, didn't say much. He gave me the keys, told me the hot water took a while, and warned me not to use the elevator after 10 p.m. Something about power surges. I thought he was being overly cautious. Old buildings have quirks, right? Moving day was uneventful. The weather was gray, the clouds low and swollen with a storm that never came. I dragged boxes up 2 flights of stairs, sweating through my shirt despite the chill. Each hallway smelled different. Curry, smoke, old carpet, cat pee. Apartment 2B was at the far end, across from a dusty fire hose cabinet and beneath a buzzing light that flickered like it was trying to speak in Morse code. The apartment itself was simple. 1 bedroom, a kitchenette, a bathroom with cracked tiles, and a narrow utility closet by the front door. The closet didn't lock. When I opened it, I found a mess of exposed pipes and cobwebs. There was a strange smell inside, faint but noticeable. Metallic, maybe? Like old pennies soaked in vinegar. I tried to shake the unease as I unpacked, set up my mattress on the floor, plugged in my phone charger, a lamp, and a fan. I sat cross-legged on the mattress and ate pizza from the box while watching a movie on my tablet. It was quiet, aside from the occasional creak in the walls or distant footsteps echoing through the building. I fell asleep sometime around midnight. The room was bathed in soft blue light from the hallway, and the fan whirred lazily beside me. I was halfway into a dream when I felt it, a sudden, unnatural stillness, like the building had inhaled and stopped breathing. I opened my eyes. The fan had stopped spinning. My tablet was black. The LED on my charger was off. Power outage? I sat up, confused. The hallway light outside was still glowing, pale and flickering, but definitely on. I grabbed my phone. Dead. Not just drained. Dead. It refused to turn on even when plugged in. The silence was louder now. I could hear the hum of the hallway light, a soft electric buzz like an insect trapped in the walls. But there was something else too. A distant dripping sound. Faint, steady. It didn't come from the bathroom. It came from the utility closet. I didn't want to check it. Every instinct told me to leave it alone. But curiosity is a cruel thing. I crept toward the closet, each step making the floor groan under my feet. The air grew colder, thicker. The dripping grew louder, joined by a low hum, deeper than the hallway light, vibrating in my chest like the bass from a distant concert. I put my hand on the closet door. It was cold, like the surface of a fridge. The knob turned too easily. Inside was darkness, but not total. The faintest amber light seemed to pulse from somewhere deep within. I could see the pipes more clearly now, though they looked off. Some were sweating. Others looked like they were breathing, slowly expanding and contracting, like lungs. I leaned in. Something crackled beneath my feet. I looked down. The floor was shifting. The linoleum rippled like water disturbed by a stone, and before I could pull away, the ground gave out completely. But I didn't fall. Not really. It felt like I phased through. One moment, I was in the dusty utility closet, and the next, I was somewhere else entirely. The buzz was deafening. I was standing in a long, endless corridor lit by buzzing fluorescent lights. The walls were covered in stained yellow wallpaper, curling at the corners. The floor was wet and smelled like moldy carpet. The ceiling lights flickered in intervals, casting uneven shadows that seemed to dance when I wasn't looking directly at them. I turned around. The closet was gone. There was no door behind me, just more hallway. It stretched in both directions, impossibly long, like I'd been dropped into the guts of some abandoned office building that never ended. I started walking, slowly. My footsteps squished on the damp carpet. Every 20 feet or so, a flickering light hung from the ceiling. Each buzz was a little different, some high-pitched, some low, some that vibrated right through your bones. I couldn't hear anything else. No wind, no voices, just me, and that infernal hum. Every so often, I thought I heard something behind me. A soft, irregular tapping. But when I turned, there was never anything there. Just more hallway. I passed a red stain on the wall. At first, I thought it was rust, but it was too dark, too thick, and it had dripped downward in long brown streaks. I didn't stop walking. Eventually, I came to a side room, a break in the uniform hallway. The door was slightly ajar, and inside was a different kind of silence, heavier, pressed down like a lead blanket. I pushed it open slowly. The room was dim. There was an old office chair, turned to face the corner, as if someone had been made to sit and stare at the wall. No desk, no filing cabinets, just stained wallpaper and a faint smell of copper. I held my breath and stepped closer. The chair moved. It turned half an inch, slow, deliberate. I backed out immediately and shut the door. As I turned to leave, I thought I heard the chair creak again. I kept moving. Time didn't exist here. My phone was still dead, but it wouldn't have mattered. Every hallway looked the same. I started leaving small objects behind, a coin, a torn piece of a wrapper, even one of my socks, just to see if I circled back. I never did. Eventually, I came to a fork. 2 hallways. One sloped downward. Not stairs, just a subtle incline that disappeared into a darkness so thick it looked solid. The other remained level. But from that direction, I could hear something strange. A sound. At first I thought it was music, a distant melody, soft and lilting like a music box. But as I focused, I realized it was humming. A human voice. Female, maybe? Humming a slow, sad tune. Between the 2 paths, on the wall, someone had written in black marker, "Choose carefully. Not all paths come back." The ink was fresh, still glistening. That meant someone else was here, or had been. I froze, heart pounding in my ears. The hum grew louder. The buzzing above me stuttered violently, casting flickering shadows across the writing. The downward path seemed to exhale cold air. The other, the humming, almost sounded like it was calling me. I took a deep breath. And now, I need you to help me decide. Now it's your turn. Option 1. Follow the soft humming down the brighter corridor. Option 2. Descend the darker path into the unknown depths. Vote in the comments to decide what happens next. The path you choose may save me or damn me. When I have at least 200 votes on one particular choice, I will continue the story in part 2. So make sure you like, subscribe, and vote. Feel free to discuss any theories you have in the comments as well. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep smiling.